Hi all, just a really quick video, an update on the classic Mini. So if you follow Retro Mini 1330 on Instagram, this is it. This is its entirety, as you can see just here. I took it off the road actually a couple of years back, purely to have the engine redone. I've got very much carried away. I've got a pile of stuff all here, all covered up, which is already powder coated and painted. My garage is a right mess, I do apologise. But anyway, I just thought I'd give you a quick update of what I'm doing to the car and what I've done since the last video. Now, I haven't videoed all of this for the simple reason I've had lots to do, and I've obviously got a bit carried away in certain areas. So I'm going to flip the camera around and just quickly give you a quick detailed catch up of where I am. And like I say, I'm really getting into this now, and I'm not too far away from paint. And then I'm going to basically be cutting out the boot floor. I'm going to put a carbon boot floor just in here. So that is my next project after doing all the front end, rear subframe out and completely building the rear subframe. And then I can have obviously fuel injection on the car, hopefully, so then I can have a return and advance, and all the brake pipes and stuff are going inside. So that's a secondary project to what I'm doing. Not that I'm getting carried away at all. Let me just leave that down. But anyway, let's flip the camera around and I'll show you where I am. So as a real quick catch up, I'm teaching myself how to weld. That's the big thing. Gone through a bottle of gas already, which is quite good. I think that partially that was because I left the tap on. So I am learning. This is something I've really wanted to teach myself for a long time. Hence why I'm getting carried away a little bit. Bulkhead's all done. I've got some tidying up over here just to fettle it back and stuff. But primarily the bulkhead's done. We've got a mount just there for the engine steady. I've blanked off all the holes. I've got internal wiper linkage going in just as a real catch up. All the holes down there on the bulkhead are done. Trimmed and tidied up all the wheel arch. There is a oil cooler going in there, and I've got like some vent that's going to feed that and cool that down to get it away from the front, because I want to try and fit a front mount radiator. I've got a lot of cleaning to do up under here. So quick question is, please, can you comment what is the best tool opposed to a zippy wheel, which I've got just over there? What is the best tool to rip all this off and get it back to bare metal? I'm not really quite sure what to use. I've used sanding discs and all sorts. I've used these things, but they just clog up. So I didn't know if there's like a wire wheel, something that would either fit on a drill or an angle grinder, which I've got a couple of those, because I need to strip all this back to bare metal, because I'm going to paint up underneath all the wheel arches, etc. So I'm trying to do this without damaging too much of the external paintwork. Inside, so what I've done is aircraft hold all of this because I just like the look of it. Like I say, it's not going to make a huge difference in the sense of lightness, but it's quite cool. How I've done that, a couple of people have mentioned it on Instagram if you follow me. Cut a hole in the front, slid the tool in, cut them out, and the tools themselves are here. So this is something I bought from Amazon. This is a 50mm cutting device, and I bought this from eBay, and that is what obviously shapes the actual hole itself. So both 50mm. So I managed to do about 20 holes, and then the actual, sorry about the rain, it's pouring down. I managed to do 20 holes, and then the actual cutting device on here. Tell you what, let me quickly show you. So here we are. Right, that is the cutting hole. So it's a kind of semi-cone. So basically it cuts these areas first, and it will trim down and it pops them out. And they look like this. I've gone across the channel, very dusty rally burner just there, and that's what it cuts out. Okay, so it cuts this out of those holes like so. So you have to drill this hole first, put this bolt through, and then you press it with that. So I had to cut a hole just here, which I filled. I've got to sand that back. Cut a hole so I can manage to slide my hand in, put them all in, drill them all out, weld the hole back up, and it looks quite trick. Could have done a few more possibly. I've done some along the back seat, which is just here. A couple over there. I've put because I've moved my harnesses back now, my welding is not perfect, and I'll tell you the reason for that in a second. Well, other than my lack of talent. I put a hoop in here to put the harnesses on. I've actually taken my roll cage out, and I've welded a harness bar in my roll cage. That's off being powder coated. I've mounted my spare wheel inside, and this area here is for a battery box, which I've made carbon fibre, aluminium, but just like a race battery. I've got earthing points just here, so I can then run a jump cable and jump it, etc. These subframes which I've welded in are kind of set up for my driving position, my leg, because up underneath over there I've got pedal box, a whole new braking system, which was meant to be a direct fit, but it wasn't, so I had to do a lot of fabricating just there. I've cleaned off all this very thick underseal, and I'm rust treating all the seams, hence why I kind of clean and paint, and then I can sand back. If you notice, I've got no gear linkage hole at all, so I run a CAD quick shift, so I've got captive nuts either side, and we've got the holes just here to rivet that in. They're all palladium powder coated. Now, if you go across my channel, I'll pop it on the screen just here. I fitted my CAD quick shift, and I did the calculations and the hole where the hole should be. So that hole should be absolutely on point. So if you want to know how to fit a CAD quick shift, I've actually in the video I've just shown you on the screen, that shows you the dimensions of where you need to drill a hole. So that's quite handy. Internal linkage mechanism just up here. That's where the wiper arm's going. It's going to go up through that hole. I've got a bracket just here to mount the pump. I've got studs just under here to mount the washer bottle, which is quite cool. Battery kill-off switch area, which is just here. I've got strengthening for the cross member, because obviously my lower drop bracket, which is all being dry fitted with the steering rack, is actually permanently welded in. So that's structurally really strong, hence why I've put the 2 brace bars there to really strengthen it up, as much as I've put the brace bar just here on the back of the bulkhead box. Like I say, it isn't the most tidiest stuff in the world, welding, but it's very strong. I get good penetration, and my big problem was I realised I ran out of gas, and I got bird crap welds everywhere, and it was awful. And then I suddenly thought to myself, my back bottle seems heavy, but it was actually empty, and I was running an argon gas, and now I'm running an argon mix gas. And I'll tell you what, that makes such a difference. I welded my roll cage up with that, and the quality of the weld is just fantastic. Really, really pleased with that. So it's getting better. I am getting better, slowly, but it's all a learning curve. I'm not no Endaf Owens. I've got a hole just at the top of my finger there. You can see blue through it. That is a hole I have found. I also had a really big hole here in the floor. Ignore the dirt, because this is just a kind of work in motion. So I welded a plate from here all the way through to here, and I'm quite pleased with that. That's just linished back and a bit of paint. I've got to tidy it up. You can see a little bit of areas there which I just need to grind back, but that is solid. Nice thick plate in there, so we've tidied all that up. Tidied up, welded. I found a hole here. This is not a big hole, this is just a little hole. This is just rust killer that's coming out of it, and I've done that so I can wax oil inside, but these are all nice and solid. Let me just zoom back out. But I have found a hole over there, like so, which I've actually cut a big chunk out, cleaned it all out, and then I have discovered in there that they've got holes leading outside. So I've linished it all back on the underside and welded it from both sides, strengthening that all up, and I can tidy that up. Obviously the filler marks, it did have a front floor pan replaced, I think a long time ago, so I've tidied that up and just put a bit of filler to smooth that out. But other than that, that's really strong, and that's been in there for a good 30 odd years. So there we are. Big thing is though, I've moved the handbrake back. So handbrake was obviously a lot further forward. I fabricated a bracket here, that was obviously here, and your gear handbrake was here. But because my CAD quick shift, this was always banging into it, and it was really annoying, so I've moved it right out of the way. Yeah, by 6 inches I've moved that back, which is quite a bit. I think it's about 6 inches shorter on the handbrake cable. Relocated the slot, so all these dimensions are correct. Again, go across to Instagram, I did measure all that out, so you can look at that as well as. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to get rid of the headlining completely. Get rid of that. I'm going to go to fixed rear windows. I want to go to perspex windows as well. So yeah, it's just a lot. But the big thing for me is I need to take all the underseal off the underside of the car, and then I can paint and Gravitex and do all of that jazz. But I do need to know how to get this off. So if anybody's got any help whatsoever, you can see all down underneath there's all been done. I just got to start tidying it all up now. So it's nice and solid, I will give it that. Now, this was wax sealed when I first got it, and well, what a difference that made for the life of this nice little Mini. But yeah, it is in a bit of a state of repair at the moment, but nice thing is I've welded up all the bulkhead holes. It's all nice and solid. I've just got to start cleaning everything back. So any helps or tips, guys, please, I'm going to put on screen helps, tips to clean all this up, make sure it's ready for paint, because this is all new. This is all new to me. This is not what I do for a job. This is something that I just, I'm trying to teach myself, but it's coming along nicely. Anyway, there we go. Quick update on Retro Mini 1330. So yeah, guys, hit subscribe, hit like, and please comment below. Really could do with your help and support. And if anybody wants to know how that's fixed, then I will do another video on that, as well as and what I use to mount that inside. I may even lower it a little bit, but I did put it up for a reason, because my harnesses did originally come up there, but I've welded a bar across. I don't know how well that'll work when driving with it bouncing, but it's quite robust. They fit them in quite heavy duty cars, but I can give you the tips on that at another time. So there will be some more videos coming, guys, on this, so please do subscribe and like. And yeah, any questions you've got or anything you think I can do differently, I'm all ears. But don't criticise, because I am not a fabricator. But the welds are coming on okay. I'm getting better, and that's the main thing. Teaching myself something new with this little welder. If you want to know what the welder is, it's a Super MIG 150. It does the job. It's good value for money. And these welding gloves, would you believe, are £3.99 from Screwfix. And they're absolutely brilliant. So I bought 2 pairs. Cool. There we go. Guys, thanks for watching. See you soon.